This is ticker PXS, November 14th, 2018. The GLBS was the main ticker of the day that was running pre-market, and tried to get a trade on that one and got a little bit off of it, but it faded pretty quickly. And as quickly as it started fading, it seemed like all the volume moved over to PXS shortly after. And I was watching this one as it was at I guess it was just about to break this open price, and hesitated, and then ignored it, thinking there was nothing going to happen there. And all of a sudden, it was the next one on my scanner. So I just kept it on watch, and unfortunately, I overtraded the hell out of it in this area here, trying to catch the bounce and the run up. My lesson here would be to just be as patient as possible, because I did have this line sitting here, and that was exactly where the price bounced off of and became support twice. We had one touch here, two touch here at almost noon, and that was the support it was looking for, and then created the ramp up that I'll show in a second. And yeah, that was actually a really good buy at 253, but I sold it into the run into 270, which was not bad as far as an exit there. But if I held, I could have probably captured the rest of this move. But that was okay. If in hindsight, if I was to do this again, this was a good dip buy. The sell was fine, but I was chasing it in here, and I thought that the 265 area was acting as 5 minute support, and that was exactly where I would cut if it failed. And unfortunately, it failed so quickly that I didn't get my fill until 260, so about 5 cents lower than what I wanted. Live and learn. So if we move forward to the afternoon, as soon as it made the double bottom here, I waited and waited until I got another 5 minute higher low, which came here. And I was buying in this area here, thinking that it was maybe going to start pushing. And again, this was too soon. I need to be more patient, watch for the curl, and get another 5 minute lower high, or higher low, I should say. And then in the end, I was able to get 264 and bring my average down to 270. So my average was sitting right here. And I waited patiently as this was moving along the trend line that it started creating on the flag or the pennant I was looking at. And I was really watching for it to break the top of this, and I was trying to be as patient as possible. My risk was I couldn't use 250 because my average was 270, so it was 20 cents off, which was too much risk for me. So I was using 260 or just shy of 260. If it broke that, I was just going to get out of the trade. At that point, it looked like it was going to either create another bottom and then fail, or just fail altogether. So yeah, anyways, that's where I was using my stop was 260. And if I move the time frame along, you can see what happened. As soon as it broke the top of the pennant here on the 5 minute, so we were creating 5 minute a double bottom, higher low, another higher low here, and then it broke out. And I just held on to this trade as long as I possibly could, and I ended up selling some at 308 and the rest at 305, and unfortunately a little bit lower than that when it dropped below $3. So I was using 3 as an absolute get out scenario, because there was just no point in leaving it go any further than that. So I just took the trade off there, and it did bounce back quite well at the end of the day, but it dropped down beyond where I even bought. So I was glad to get out of that trade. So yeah, the takeaway on this one is the pennant with large flag, and just trying to be more patient, and not rush into the trade. This was a key example of waiting until I could get into a scenario like this and ride the 9 EMA up and take this move here instead of, waiting through all this pain here and wondering if it was going to come down. I might be able to just take this move next time and just wash my hands of it once it goes up and stop there. Another takeaway on this trade was I drew a resistance line at 320, and that came from this area over here. And if I look at the hourly time frame, so if I go back over to the hourly, you can notice here that on the, I guess this would have been Monday, the 4th, this was the high of the day. No, I guess it wasn't the high of the day, but or was it? Yeah, that was the high of the day after the bottom bounce anyway. So that was an area that I was looking at for a touch there, and in pre-market it touched 320 as well. So that was where I ended up drawing my line, and ironically, that's exactly where the price stopped out at. So maybe I should have just followed my line and sold there. So again, living and learning.